Hi, Soul Family. This is Corey Brandon, Soul Traveler 77. And today I got a special guest, Sasha from England. He has had a bunch of different OBEs, and he's going to kind of tell us about one of his best OBE experiences or latest or whatever he wants to talk about. And we're going to sit here and listen, and we're going to actually ask a few questions to really uh, get more information about what he experienced. And hopefully it's something that inspires all of you guys to have experiences and get out here and stay with the practice. So welcome, Sasha. Welcome. How are you doing today, man?
Thank you very much for having me on. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about what I'm about to talk about. I'm excited to be on. So, yeah, I feel like it's a privilege. I've been following you for a while, and yeah, can't wait to get into the conversation.
Absolutely, man. Well, look, we ain't going to waste a bunch of time. So go ahead and tell us. I want to know how this thing started for you, from the start of your practice all the way through the entire experiences with as much detail as possible.
So it started when I was 4 years old. Um, I had a dream, and I was scared in the dream, and I woke myself up, and I woke up into sleep paralysis. And I saw this figure at the end of my bed, at the foot of my bed. It was a shadow figure wearing a hood and a cloak. Tried to shout, tried to move, and I couldn't. Um, and then I eventually woke up. So that was my first experience of sleep paralysis. That continued happening until I was a teenager. Not necessarily every time with the hooded figure, but it sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't. When I got to my teens, I was about 14, 15. I kind of woke up in sleep paralysis in the night, and I was trying to force myself up to sit up, and I did, and I was happy that I was up. But then when I kind of turned around and I looked back, and my body was still asleep. So that was crazy at the time. That was a crazy experience, but I kind of pushed it to the back of my mind because I didn't want to get too scared. um, so yeah, so people have asked me kind of how I felt, but I didn't feel anything in that moment. I was like, that happened. Let's let that go. I don't want to think about that too much. I kind of was in a state, in a mindset of this is still something to do with the brain. It's not real. It's just kind of a limbo state or a state where you're in between wakefulness and sleep. So yeah, I was a bit scientific with it. I didn't think it was actually me coming out of my body at the time. As I got older, I started relaxing into this sleep paralysis because I was having it so often. And I realized that when I was relaxed and not fearful that no beings would be there. Um, there was occasions where there was beings, but I kind of commanded them to go and they went. And I also at one particular time commanded the being to change into something more pleasant, and it changed into a bouquet of flowers. So that was interesting. Um, this led me up to kind of looking into the paranormal, and I had a big life changing experience, which I didn't link to sleep paralysis at the time. At 21 years old, and I took some psilocybin mushrooms, and that kind of made me aware of an expanded state of awareness, which I call an infinite dimension. And um, at the time, I didn't realize that it was me. I thought it was something external, even though it was infinite. But I began to realize that that was me. That was just my highest state, potentially, or source. That was source energy. There was an experience before I was in this expanded state of awareness where I blacked out, and I saw this golden box hovering in this black void, in this dark void. When it was black. It was totally, there was no light except for this box. And I had this knowing that if I was to open the lid of the box, that I would have every answer to all of my questions. Yeah, so there was a golden box moment, and I had kind of 13 years of trying to integrate what happened with that, because I was trying to rebuild myself again, because I was thrown into source energy, and then I was me again after I came out of it, but I wasn't me anymore. It was like the me that was me was no longer there. It's like I'd died, and it felt like death. And it was death. And I understood death in that moment. I understood that, to me anyway, in my experience, death is a transition to expanded awareness. It's a shift to a higher awareness, which is me anyway. So yeah, it's a lot for me at 21 to kind of process this. Um, and I didn't know that OBEs would be a big part of the connecting the sleep paralysis with the hooded figure to the mushroom experience to have no OBEs, and it's all the same kind of thing. I felt nihilism and depression when I got thrown into that expanded state of awareness, because the me that was me died. So I had nothing else to attach to cling on to. I had no identity. So I was gone. And I was thinking, well, this is me now. This is the normal. I'm just going to be in this state forever, without an identity. But I had this craving and this want to be me again, to live, to feel, to laugh, to love. Um, and it's made me realize that I do think this is what Source wants. It wants to have these experiences so it can feel what it can't feel because it's already everything. So it's like the only way Source can feel anger, love, family, anything is by forgetting its source, because if it knew, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose of, yeah.
Yep.
uh,
Once you go to the other side, you are different because now
yeah,
you are in remembrance, meaning
yeah,
you know something that you did not know prior to that moment. I exist beyond this. And in
yeah,
knowing that, you are going to be forever changed because
yeah,
everything that was put in your experience here to help you source experience these things, the the distortions and all the things that was put here to help you experience all the things that you can't even experience, all that distortion is starting to wipe away because you know
yeah,
none of it's real. So
yeah,
once you know that, you aren't the same person. And I went through the same
yeah,
thing with the depression stuff because it's like for me it was more like, why do I even want to be here? Because this is like I know what I know now,
not
right?
real.
And I know this isn't real. Like I know this
Yeah,
isn't. This is a piece of time, a piece of fabric in in something called time, which don't even exist on the other
yeah,
side, right?
yeah,
So I want to tell you, you're going to continue to get downloads. Don't question how you know the things you know. Just know them
yeah,
because your soul knows all things. So just know it. You are source. You wearing the hat. Thank you. I like that hat. I gotta get me one
yeah.
now because that
I'll
is
send you one.
exactly correct. You are God. So with that being said, don't doubt it. You will continue to get downloads because you are now in you you've plugged into something that you can't unplug from.
Yeah,
And so now you're going to get your computer now is downloading stuff whether you want it to happen or not because you plugged into the other side when you wasn't really supposed to. Like I tell
yeah,
people all the time, we wasn't really supposed to be doing this because the purpose is to come here and lose all of that so we can have a full experience.
well,
But
yeah,
you
yeah,
lost that. You now you're starting to remember. So you're going to get more downloads. And again, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to tell you that and encourage you to keep experiencing these downloads. Don't think it's something weird. It isn't a planetary. All that's physical shit. It don't even exist. There are no
yeah,
planets. There are no stars. None of this shit exists at all.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
so, it's not that. It's just simply your soul is downloading this information into you while you're here in the realm, walking around in your flesh suit.
what you pointed out there was, because I've been speaking to a few people on their channels and podcasts, and I've been saying to them I know, and I can't tell you how I know, and you can take what resonates. You don't have to believe me, but I just know, and I know that I know. But it's so hard to tell that to people who don't know. But
Yeah.
it's not that I know something that you don't, and I'm putting myself on a pedestal. It's
Yeah.
just that I know, to me, And
I
that's it. I'm
remember,
not,
and you just don't
I
yet.
remember. Yeah,
And you just don't yet. And you will.
yeah,
It's funny you said that because I face a lot of that too. People will be like, well, even personally, and she's not in here, I don't even think my wife believes most of the stuff that I'm saying because she
yeah,
hasn't experienced it. I
yeah,
don't care. I don't
yeah,
care who don't believe me because at some point, every single person you ever came in contact with and ever will come in contact will remember, whether it's
yeah,
the end of the construct or they transition back to the other side. It doesn't matter. So you don't have to. I also want to encourage you not to feel like you have to get people to understand you.
yeah,
Gods don't care whether other gods understand them or not.
yeah,
I, as a god, I don't care if you haven't recognized your godhood yet. That's fine. I recognize mine. A
yeah,
god doesn't care what another god thinks because a god knows everything that that other god knows anyway. We all know the same shit. It's just like
yeah,
you said, it's not something I know that you don't. It's just something that I've come into remembrance of that you just haven't yet. So I want to
yeah,
encourage you on that too, because this road gets lonely because people are not going to know what we know, and
yeah.
trying to
But
explain it
it's
to them
nice.
is hard. So
Yeah, it's nice having the community online though, and the
yeah,
because that's where you can go to, and that's like this. You know, we've connected now, and we can
yep,
talk to each other about this, and we can talk to other members of the community. So it's good, and the more that we talk, and the more that people get out there and get on these conversations and put it out there, the more we spread the
mm,
information.
for sure.
Um, so yeah, but what's happened as well with me on this subject is I used to be a people pleaser up until this year, and I watched how I spoke and how I was because I kind of wanted everyone to be happy around me. But something's changed, and it's changed. Like I just know it's in a good way. Like I put people right if they're if they speak to me in a certain way now, I tell them and I put them right because although you don't have to, but although well, you do have to act out of love. You can demand respect, and that's love as well, because you're kind of this is my perspective anyway.
Mm,
You're kind of teaching people that they should be themselves, and I think negativity and talking to people in certain ways isn't their true self. It's they've clung on to identities and labels, and they've let their thoughts take over who they are, so they treat people in a certain way, but
mm,
that's why I've kind of changed my perspective on that. I used to think to be in love and to speak through love was to let people be whoever they are. But if that's a hindrance to your soul and your soul's truth, I feel like you need to speak up. So,
correct,
yeah,
correct.
just wanted to say that because
Yeah.
that's happened this year again, just out of nowhere, and I've kind of got this new perspective on how
Do you have
I want
children?
to be treated. I've got a 6 month old little girl now.
Okay, so let me tell you, I got three children. So correction is also love.
Yeah,
Your kids, if they get out of pocket, you're not gonna say, I love you. Just keep doing crazy shit. And the older your kid gets, the more you'll see the crazy shit they'll do. But you don't love them if you don't correct them. That's
yeah,
love is correction because ultimately you want your child to be just like you said, the true them to be
yeah, yeah,
acting
yeah,
in
yeah. That's what
unconditional
it
love.
is.
So it's the same thing. It's the same reason I don't judge people because I would never judge my child. I would correct people, but I don't judge them for it. Like if you
Yeah,
say
no,
something cross, I'm gonna say, hey, no, we don't
yeah,
talk like that, or da 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 da. And then we move on. I don't continue to harping on it or act out of this judgmental state. You're a bad person, whatever.
yeah,
But think of it like your children. You're absolutely on point with that. Like for some reason, people think this is some love and light community where we just gonna run around and get ran over by people and they can say whatever they want and we shouldn't respond because we're this airy fair. No, 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 no. I don't
yeah,
let people
no,
disrespect me. I'm God.
Yeah,
God don't let
exactly that.
people
Yeah,
disrespect him.
yeah,
Like everything you think about God, that's what I am. And I don't say
yeah,
that in an egotistical way. I'm saying we all are God. So there should be a certain level of respect and unconditional love for all of us. And so if you're giving unconditional love and that's not being reciprocated, you have the right to correct somebody in love. So
yeah,
yeah,
100%.
no,
Yeah,
I like that you. I love that we having this conversation because you're bringing up a lot of things that I think real people deal with because they'll
yeah,
start having these experiences and think like, wait, am I supposed to be this love and light weirdo that walks around in these weird clothes and just love everybody and let people smack me and turn other cheek? No, 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 not me. I mean, maybe some people do. Won't be me. If you
yeah.
smack me, I'm going to smack the shit out of you back. And that's just what it's gonna be. Like, and then after it's over, we can all agree to forgive each other and love each other and all of that. But in that moment, I'm not letting anybody just take advantage of me. I don't there's no laws around that. This is most of that shit comes from religion. So yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah, like it's strange because before this year, like I said, I was more more tame and I'd let things slide. But since
Mhm.
I've figured out about love and fear, I've become like that. So it's almost like the love has made me like that. So you're 100% right. People do need to realize that it's not, oh, I need to live in love and let everyone be the way they are. No, you need to live in love and show people that they should live in love too by
Mhm.
by correcting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So um yeah, so shall I
No, yeah,
move on
continue on with your
to this
experiences.
year's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the mushroom one was a big thing for me. It showed me exactly who I am at my core. Um and this year because I'm so kind of experienced in regards to getting into sleep paralysis. I didn't do it for years, and because I was contemplating this mushroom experience, and then this year I come across Darius, I come across you, I come across Andre, um, and I've said this on every channel I've spoke to, but truth resonates, and when I hear truth, and it's the same as the knowing with the downloads. It's the same, just truth. And when I hear it, when I see you guys speak, you've got your own versions of things. You've got your own unique ways of telling stuff. Of course, you have your unique, but the truth, the core comes through, and I see that. And when I heard that Darius mentioned you can experience OBEs through sleep paralysis, that piqued my interest. When I listened to Andre talk about multiple realities and visiting multiple lives, that piqued my interest. When I listened to you talk about fear, that piqued my interest. And that kind of set me on a path to want to explore more. And because I was kind of shying away from experiencing that again, that mushroom state again, because of the terror that I experienced in the moment. It seems silly now, terrified of myself. But it's because of the 21 years of conditioning, I suppose, and yeah, being brought up in fear in the world, and there's always a World War III around the corner, and there's always this and that around the corner. It's just
Right.
made that way, it seems. So, um, but yeah, so I got listening to you guys, and I thought I can get into sleep paralysis kind of whenever I want. I'll try. So well, I didn't try. What happened was I set a few intentions, and intention is everything. I've told people this in my experience, anyway. In my opinion, intention is everything, and surrender. Um, so I set an intention to have an experience, whatever way it would come. I'd go to sleep, and I'd say, "I'm ready. If you're willing to show, I'm willing to receive." I'd go to sleep and started getting these lucid dreams, and I started getting lucid dreams more. I've had them my whole life, but I was having them, and then this one lucid dream out of nowhere, I kind of raised my arms and I just said something like, "I call on my highest self to show me what I need to see in this moment, or show me truth." It was something like that, and my whole dream started vibrating and shaking. Even myself, I started, and it was a frequency shift. It was a vibrational shift, and I felt like I couldn't handle it. And just as I felt like I couldn't handle it, I got shot off into the sky at the like speed of light. Um, woke up in my body, went back to sleep, woke up again, realized when I woke up the first time I didn't actually wake up. That was kind of what I know now is like a safety net. So I was shown that I could command something in my dream, and then I was shown this. Well, I wasn't shown. I was given a safety net. That's all you need for now. So I was like, that is so interesting. So a week later, I had another lucid dream. I called again. Well, I went to call, and before I could even finish the sentence, this kind of wormhole appeared above me in my dream, and it kind of took me up into the sky, and it was going faster than before, and I kind of veered off, and I woke up in a body, and I just looked at my hands, and it was as real as it is now. I was wearing this black hoodie. I was in bed, but I was fully dressed. There was this computer screen in the corner of the room, really big monitor, but almost like I don't know why, but I knew it was an AI kind of tech in the computer. Really strange. I don't know how I know that, but I lifted the duvet. I was super excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like I'm somewhere else. I didn't think it was me at the time. I just thought I was having like some kind of strange dream. And I went to go out the room to see what was besides the door, and I touched the doorknob, but then my hand went through, and I kind of felt a little shift as if I was being pulled back. And I heard this robotic voice say, "Luke, this transmission is ending." And the Luke hit me. And it was like, why would I hear Luke when my name's not Luke? And then I kind of woke up in my body. And like you said, I had a download. I had a knowing that that was another version of me, a parallel kind of version of me. Um, which yeah, that was crazy. I had that, and then I had an experience a week later again, where I was in a lucid dream, and I didn't need to call upon anything. I just knew it would come. I jumped into the air, wormhole got me, took me, and a bit of fear started to rise. And I've been dealing. I've changed my perspective on fear, and I've said it with everyone I've spoke to. I think it's really important. I'd love to speak to you about fear. Um, but in my opinion, fear is something to be accepted, and it's something to um, trans, something to shift your perspective on rather than to overcome. Um, I think that fear is something to accept as part of yourself, and I think that it's something that you can switch. I think actually when we've spoke before, and you mentioned that it could be it's the same energy as curiosity. I think
Yeah.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that resonated when you said that, because I've been feeling that I can. It's the same energy. Fear is the same energy of other energies that I have in different frequencies. But if I can switch the frequency from fear to something else like excitement or something else, then it kind of doesn't disappear, but it just changes, and I feel the change. So I was in the wormhole, and I was going further than I'd ever gone before. Um, so a bit of fear started to creep up, and I changed it in that moment, and I kind of was like, "It's okay, come with me. If it's too bad, bring me back." I kept going, and I experienced this white void, and in the middle of the white void, this was this blue purple smoke with like thousands of orbs. In that moment, I was like, "This is enough for me. I want to go back to my body." I woke up, and I realized that those orbs were me. um, that in my opinion, again another download. I felt like I was looking at that from my highest point, highest
Mm-hmm.
soul's view, maybe, and those were my lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, there's a couple experiences I haven't mentioned before. I'm gonna tell you because yeah, I think it's important for us to have for you to know everything about me, and then we can have a talk about it after. So this one was a big one for me. Again, it was everything happened week after week after week. This was about a week later. I woke up in sleep paralysis, and something happened that's never happened to me before. I've been in sleep paralysis, and I've came out, and I've walked around the room, and I've gone outside of the house. But this time I kept hovering and hovering and hovering, and I felt the vibrational shift that you feel sometimes when you come out. And I popped into a void, but it was something I've never felt before. It was complete peace and complete calmness and complete weightlessness. And there was just nothing but presence, like my presence. And it was really nice, but because I've never experienced that before, and it was like there was no fear there, but because I've never experienced that before, I did think, what if I've died? So I had this intention to be like, I need to check on my body, and as soon as I did, I woke up in my
Look
body.
up somebody.
But
Yeah.
but but this is crazy now. What happened when I opened my eyes? I saw this reality pixelate back into frame, and it's I don't know. It was I couldn't move my body for about 2 minutes, and I couldn't really. The pixelation seemed normal at the time, but when I started to move my body, I was like, "Oh, my foot! That's a foot." I was I must have been fully separated because when I came back, it was like I didn't kind of know who I was, or and then my foot kind of started moving my other foot, and then I moved my body, and I was like, I've just experienced the thing that we call reality pixelate back into light. Like it's hard to
Physical
describe.
form. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So then I understood this was a projection because I always knew we were awareness based on my mushroom experience, but I didn't really get how this worked. But then I saw the projection of it with the pixelation. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why there's no distance because it's all just projected in front, and awareness is just watching everything. And when you move or you perceive that you move or you run, nothing's happening. You're not going anywhere. It's just the body in this experience that's perceiving that, but you are always just still because you're
Existed.
infinite. You're just an observer.
Yes, yes.
So that's what I mean. This has all happened this year and linked back to the yeah. So next one after that,
Hold on.
I
We got
call
hold on. Before we move
okay,
forward,
okay,
I want to say with
okay,
this one, because
okay.
this one is the one.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big one.
You
Yeah.
experienced the construct, literally experienced, because I experienced the opposite of that. I was
Okay.
in a lucid dream and I didn't want to be in a dream. I watched the dream collapse around me and I woke up.
Oh wow. Okay.
You experienced the reverse of that. So you experience the other end when you come back and watch this reality build back into
Four.
itself form.
Yeah.
That's powerful, bro. I'm telling you, you just made this whole thing even bit. Now I'm excited because, and not saying I wasn't before, but now I'm even more excited because what you saw was the actual formation of the conscious. You saw that this is a fake reality. You saw
Yeah.
we're in a VR headset.
Yeah.
We're basically like our consciousness, our soul is in a VR headset experiencing this reality in the physical form through five senses.
Yeah.
And that's it. Is it.
Yeah.
What you simplify to that is nothing more, nothing
And
less. Go
and
ahead.
that way you've explained it there, it's good for people to really understand because we're doing it now as humans. We're creating the metaverse and virtual reality. And when you put a headset on, you'll be able to eventually put your consciousness into that. That's what we're doing now. But I'm not sure if there's technology involved. I haven't experienced that. But all I know is our consciousness, our soul, our awareness is focused into this projected reality right now.
Right.
I call this, I haven't heard anyone say this. I don't know your thoughts on it. It was going to be a question I'd ask later, but now we're on this topic. I call this an OBE. I don't see any different to any other reality that you experience. So,
So I'm glad you said that. What I'm starting to understand is that we are regular life is on the other side.
yeah,
This is the dream.
yeah,
We're not dreaming when we go to sleep. We're just going experiencing other realities or whatever.
yeah,
Our soul on the other side is dreaming now, this experience that we're
yeah,
having. And I've never said that to anyone. So this is the first time I've ever said that to somebody because recently that's what I've been having a lot of like lucid dreams, and that's
Yeah.
what came to me. I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. I said we exist eternally without time. So why do we believe this is a different existence? Because on the other side, we're existing in past, present, and future all at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's a future version of us that's playing out while we're in this flesh suit
Right now.
here.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a past version, and all is playing at the same time because everything is happening. We don't exist in time on the other side. We just exist.
Yeah.
So being in true existence has to mean that's the real. This is just part of one of many different experiences
Games.
happening at
Yeah.
the same time. And I've never said that to anybody. So, because I always said if I ever explain that, people are going to think I'm crazy. But that is how I'm perceiving this. I was literally walking around my house this morning and I was looking at the walls and stuff and like, this is literally just a dream. This is literally just,
Yeah.
and it's like, this is not real. Like my coffee maker, that's just what we call that thing. Like that, I don't need that. If I want coffee I don't even need coffee on the other side. I don't need
Yeah.
coffee. But if I wanted to experience what it felt like to have coffee, then I need to experience that through a machine that can make me coffee. So I've created all of that in this realm to have that experience.
Yeah.
And that would mean that all of this is just projections of my consciousness, all
Yeah.
of it,
100%. Yeah.
even the physicality. And people don't understand that because they don't understand the other side is just as physical, if not more physical. If
Yeah.
you only believe this is physical, then you will separate it from the other side and think the other side is airy, fairy, spirits, walking around, fly. No, your soul is literally more physical than your physical body because there are no limitations of the soul. So um, the nerves that your skin has in it to touch, you have that times an infinite amount of amount. You can feel even the frequencies that you can't feel here, right? So like
Yeah.
right now, I'm doing this. I can feel air, but there are frequencies I can't feel that I'm touching that I can't even feel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Another example, if I want to go through the wall on the other side, I just simply become the frequency of the wall and I go through the wall. That's how we're able to walk through the walls in our OBEs. Our souls are limitless. So
Yeah.
right now, the reason why you can't put your hand through the wall is because the frequency of the wall is repelling the frequency of your physical hand. That's all that's happening. It's like negative, positive charge pushing each other away, right? Or however
Yeah.
that magnetism shit works. No, that brings them together. So a positive, positive charge pushing each other away.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing here. In the OBE state, you are all frequencies at the same time. So it ain't nothing
Yeah.
but thinking, just the thought, I want to walk through the wall. You instantly become the frequency of the wall and you can walk through it.
Yeah.
I
You
figured
command
that
what you
out.
want.
You command what you want. And in that command, you become the frequency of what it is you want to happen. Because everything is just frequency, it's just energy. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, man, I'm so glad you shared that because I've been feeling that way for a while now. For like a couple weeks, I was like, that's the real side. This is the fake shit. This is the dream. We're having dreams within dreams when we go to
Yeah.
sleep at night. We're having a dream within a dream. If you ever watched Inception, which
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the most brilliant movies ever made, it makes so much sense when you think of it like that. It's when we go to sleep at night, we dream. That's just a dream within our dream that we walk around in every day, because our true higher self is literally on the other side, just experiencing all of this stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. And the thing is, I never before until this year thought when I had my mushroom experience, I did get this download that this was a dream, but for some reason. when I experienced other realities and realms, I thought they were separate to this. But I've had situations where I've noticed something in other like realms where there's been some kind of I don't want to say like some kind of ultra HD edge or just something a bit unusual. And when I've
Mm.
been walking my dog or something, when I really paid attention, I've kind of saw a glimmer, and I'm like, whoa, that's the same thing I saw. And then it kind of all kind of made sense to me. And I was like, this is an OBE. And then when the more you think about it, of course it's an OBE because your soul is multiple selves experiencing multiple versions. So why would this reality be any different to all the other versions? So when people say they're having an OBE, I get it. It makes sense. It makes people understand it. But not enough people are saying this is an OBE, in my opinion,
Yeah,
because that will help the fear side of things when people
yeah,
can really understand that this is a reality that the soul is playing in as well as not just you don't have to escape to go out and view another reality to have an OBE. You're having one now. So when, for example, if when you go to other realms of realities and you see aliens or you see when they come here, when we're made aware of their presence, is that any different? It's the same aliens you're seeing there. So, they're
yeah,
not, why would they be there and here if this wasn't linked kind of, yeah. So
exactly.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought Corey, when I have this chance to speak to you, I'm gonna save the best ones to talk to you.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Okay,
I
you can
wanted a
go with
good
the next one now.
conversation.
You can go with the next one now. But I wanted to sit with that one because again, that's something that is something that was placed into me a couple weeks ago when I was having a lucid dream. And I was like, wait a minute. And to hear you say what you just said is confirmation for me. Like I try to
Yeah,
tell people, I'm not an OB guru. I don't have them I'm not Darius, and people have been having OBs long before even Darius was born. So this isn't a new phenomenon.
yeah,
It's actually our natural ability to be able to come in and out of this awareness, just like we coming in and out of dreams at night.
yeah.
Um, so everything I say isn't gospel. So sometimes I need confirmation. And so what you just said, I'm even more happy that we had this having this chat because what you just said confirms something that I have been processing for at least the last 2 weeks.
Truth
So yeah,
resonates,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it?
yeah. And like even to the point where you said you see it in this reality, like when I go outside, sometimes it's getting starting to get cold, so I don't spend as much time on my balcony. But in the summertime, I can look at the sky and I can see the little red, white, and blue speckles, like the
Yeah,
frequency of the picture I'm looking at. Just like you look at a
yeah,
TV, and if you stare at a TV long enough and you stare at it closely enough, you can see the red, white, and blue, like
yeah,
little pixels. I
yeah.
can see
I
that
know,
in
I
the
know
sky.
exactly what you mean. Yeah,
I can see it in the sky. They just moving around. You can
moving
see. I'm
around. Yeah,
literally looking at them, and I'm like, this is all just a project. This is literally watching
yeah.
TV. This is the Truman Show. So
And you
yeah,
can see the distance between them. You can zoom in on the close
yeah,
ones, and
yeah.
so that's how you know it's not just in your
It's like
eyes or it's
it's
not your
not this.
vision.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So
All right, now okay, now you can go to the next one, man.
yeah.
But thank you. I
Um,
needed to hear that one. Good.
no, it's okay. You're welcome. Yeah. So after that, this wormhole that's appeared, I've called it the Bifrost. That's just personal to me because the colours resemble the Bifrost Bridge in the Thor movies.
Hmm.
Um, so I call it the Bifrost. So I had this lucid dream after that pop kind of state experience. I had this lucid dream not long after, and I became aware, and I just saw this kind of obelisk tower, but I saw it as a building like a skyscraper, but it was in the shape of an obelisk tower. And I saw kind of this light shine. It was in a distance, a few miles away, yeah. And I saw this kind of light shining from the top of it going up to the sky, and I zoomed in, which is crazy to think about. My awareness zoomed into my dream, miles
Yes.
into it, and I
Yeah.
got close up, and it was the Bifrost. It was my Bifrost, my wormhole. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. What's my Bifrost doing over there? Normally it appears above me. And I zoomed back out, and I zoomed out further than when I was first made aware that I was in a lucid dream. And I saw a whole city of skyscrapers and bifrosts, wormholes. And then when I came out of that, when I woke up after that, I knew that those were my parallel lives' own wormholes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, this stuff's pretty crazy. Um,
Yeah, man.
yeah, so that. I had it was loads of lucid dreams, not as much sleep paralysis,
Mhm.
because I kind of I need to feel right for sleep paralysis. I need to
Yes.
feel good,
I
and then I
need to
can,
be in a certain mindset to do
yeah,
that. Yeah, for sure,
certain
for sure.
feeling, certain
Yeah,
mindset, certain.
yeah,
So this way I was just like, and especially when I've got a young child, and it's a bit, and my life's a bit hectic at the moment. I don't want to
yeah.
kind of think about sleep paralysis and potentially lose sleep. So I'm just rather open to experience. I had another lucid dream where I tried to call on my wormhole and it didn't come. So instead, I worked on my senses, which is odd. Um, and when I felt, I was feeling, I was paying attention, I was speaking so I could hear my voice, I was smelling the air, I was tasting the air. And when I did all of that, I kind of brought myself into the dream more from myself. And
Mm,
then I was like, whoa, this is so much more real now. And I'm here. And after a while, I was experimenting with that. And after a while, it did kind of turn into a dream and I woke up. But then when I woke up and I'm looking back at all of these experiences that happened week after week, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm being trained or I'm being getting made ready for something or I'm being shown something. And then, yeah, I'll speak about it in a minute. It's to do with myself or my higher self or my soul. So yeah, I was kind of I had a bit of a gap, a few week gap, and I thought, I feel ready for an experience today, and I knew I was going to have an experience, and I thought I'm going to get in sleep paralysis tonight, see what happens. So I got myself into sleep paralysis, and I was struggling to get out because sometimes if I'm excited or whatever, I can't get out every time. And this again, I've had sleep paralysis my whole life, but this is the first time this has ever happened to me. Um, I just said, screw this, I'm going in. And I kind of flipped around and just dove into myself. And then
mm,
suddenly I was flying above this, I was in this void, black void with kind of lights in the distance, like a mesh or a grid of lights. They look like stars. And I was flying above them and I kind of just dove into one. I've never had that experience before where I've gone in and then was automatically like flying. Kind of dove into one and I kind of stumbled into this classroom scenario. This kind of kindergarten type classroom, and it was so vivid and it was so real, and it was just as real as this. There was a leather sofa, and I was rubbing my hand on it, and it was cold, and I was thinking I can feel the temperature of the leather. Like this is crazy. And in the distance, there's kind of this like merry-go-round in the room behind, and there was these kind of like half aware beings that were just going around and just staring at me very, very creepily. But I wasn't creeped out. And then my attention got brought to this cupboard with a light on. As soon as my attention got brought, this guy come out and he was like so happy that I was there, wanting to talk to me. Hi, how are you? Let's have a conversation. So I've asked him because of how I've been experiencing these things, and I have had encounters with beings and stuff. I'm all about love and truth and getting to know myself, and that's all I care about. So I asked him if he aligned with love and truth, and he said he was autonomous, which means like he kind of follows his own path, follows his own rules. He's whatever he decides he is. So I said that's okay, but do you align with love and truth? And his face kind of dropped. He turned around, he walked into the cupboard. Another second guy come out. He kind of tried to bypass me and just he was a bit quirky and he was sat down straight on the leather sofa and was trying to get me to sit next to him and talk. And I asked him the same thing and his face dropped and he turned around and went back in the cupboard. And then a third guy come out, very aggressive, very stern. walked straight past me, didn't look at me, sat down. Then he just stared at me with this just straight face. And he said, we've got to talk. And I said, do you align with love and truth? And he said, no. I said, well, I'm not going to talk to you then. And then he said, what about the evil that's happened on the weekend? And that caught my attention. And I asked him what evil. And then he kind of smiled as if to be like, now I've got you to talk. I've piqued your interest. And then I felt like I lost my sovereignty in that moment. And
Hmm.
I was really disappointed. And I kind of told him, look, I realized that in the moment. I said, don't care about any evil. If you don't align with love and truth, I don't want to talk to you. He lay his head back on the sofa. He smiled and he said, good for you, which was so strange because he'd come out angry, but then he was like a nice. And then physically saw his energy just shoot up. I kind of turned around, started running towards the grid so I could leave, and I commanded, like, I'm ready, show me love and truth. And I woke up in my body. And when I integrated that experience, that was again another test. It was like, this is how you should be. Well done for commanding your sovereign, for, commanding your sovereignty, but also be careful of giving away your power by um, certain topics, or certain people can mislead you, beings can mislead you in certain ways to get you to talk. And that was kind of a lesson.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, week after I had an experience where I woke up in sleep paralysis and the wormhole appeared in sleep paralysis, first time ever. And then kind of rushing through this because there's so much, Corey, I could
No, no,
talk.
no, no, no. Go ahead. Hey, take your time. Go ahead. I want to
Okay,
hear it.
okay. Um, what I got from that turning up was, this is something you have to get used to because it's something you're going to have to go through at the right time. Um, and then I have wrote these down and see if I missed anything out. No, okay. And then a few weeks went by and I had this feeling that I was going to have an experience again. And I even told my wife, I said, it's happening tonight. Can't wait. Gonna meet some beings, gonna find out more about myself, gonna, fly across the multiverse.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, went to bed, went to sleep, woke up, got myself in sleep paralysis. And again, something happened that's never happened before. I felt a hand on my head, and it was just instant calm, like a calming sensation. And it was like a loving sensation, like a kind of like a motherly figure, um, or just calm, nice, peaceful. And I was trying to get out, and again, when I'm excited, when I really want to, it doesn't work. It needs surrender and it needs total relaxation. So I was getting excited, and this hand calmed me right down. And immediately I thought, oh, I can't get excited. I need to calm down. And then it slightly tilted my head back, but it was like my soul's head, not my actual head. And as soon as it did that, I had this knowing, this is the position. And when it did that, I instantly started hovering up, and the vibrations got more and more and more and more. And I was like, this is it. Can't wait. Didn't think for a second that someone's just held my head.
Right.
And then I always as well wake up in sleep paralysis with my eyes open. This is the first time I've ever woken into it with my eyes closed, which was strange. And I felt the wormhole appearing in my room. But this time, even though my eyes were closed, I knew it was golden. It wasn't the normal Bifrost colours, but I knew it was still the wormhole. And it was getting larger and larger. And I felt warmth. I felt physical warmth on my soul's body coming from this wormhole. And I had this person next to me, and I had this, my body was going closer. And I don't know what it was, but it was like, that's enough. Come back. And I came back and I opened my eyes and I was so disappointed. And I was like, I was so close. What's wrong? Like, I didn't know if it was fear because I'm like, I've learned how to kind of transmute fear or change my perspective on fear. So why has it stopped me? But then I was angry, not angry. I was frustrated all day. But the more I've kind of integrated it and learned, it was almost like that being next to me was saying, now you know how to relax fully. Now you know how to position yourself in a way to come out. Now you know what it's going to feel like before you enter. That's all you need for now. That's kind of what I got from that.
Yeah.
That's my experiences up until now, up until recently. Um, I know at some point I'm going to go through that wormhole. I think I know what's waiting for me. The moment that I had in the mushroom experience with the golden box when I was about to open it is the same experience of the golden wormhole that I was about to go through. And I don't know if this is, when you have the knowings and the downloads, I don't know if this is a download and a knowing or if it's just me guessing. And because I'm not sure, I'm not sure. Because when you know, you know. But the person or the being that was there with me when they tilted my head, I feel like was the hooded figure that was at the edge of my bed when I was 4 years old, that I thought was terrifying and scary. And now I feel like it's another aspect of me. I don't know. Like,
Could be a spirit guide, a soul guide. Like
yeah, it could be anything, anyone,
more
but
importantly, it was there in love.
yeah,
Like I, I feel like we're starting to put too much emphasis on what we're seeing instead of what we're feeling in those experiences.
yeah, yeah,
Because what you're seeing is just what these beings project themselves as in that moment. Because we don't have a form truly.
yeah,
Like we can be whatever we want. Again,
yeah,
I've seen Lyrans and then I've seen shadow beings, and I understand it's all just souls, right?
yeah,
It could be a version of you. It could be a soul that you've known since like
forever.
forever in terms of time forever.
Yeah, yeah,
Eons.
yeah,
This could have been a
yeah,
friend of yours. So this could have been the soul of somebody who's passed on out of your life who you've known for eons, right? That's not so important. What is important is the lesson they were teaching you, which is exactly what you just said. That showing you here's how you need to be, here's how you need to lie and lie down, here's how you need to exit the body. I'm going to give you the guides and shit. For all you know, it could have been Darius. You don't know. Like I've had people say they've seen me in their lucid dreams.
yeah.
And that's
It's crazy.
very possible because I
Yeah,
ain't sleep. My soul don't sleep, so I could be entering thought forms of people I know all the time. What you've experienced up until this point is similar to my experiences. There hasn't been anything like super crazy, but it's always been little stuff that you like, oh, and then you get the download later of what it meant or what it was,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that's what keeps me going because I want to experience
yeah,
more of the Darius type stuff where I'm actually in a place, I'm asking questions, I'm finding information about the future and all that stuff. That's what I'm targeting now.
yeah,
Um, but you said something that I very much agree with. You have to be in the right space for this.
yeah,
I think I haven't been in the right space over the last. I've been preoccupied with things in the experience, family stuff going on, and I said after this week, because I won't have a lot of stuff that I got going on now, it'll be over. I'm gonna spend more time chasing the OBE, and I say chase in the sense me going
yeah. I
through
know.
it with a stronger will of my soul,
Intention. Yeah,
more intention, stronger will, the will I had when I first started having these experiences. Because I started this because I wanted to know if we got to go to hell when we die. Like I honestly, that's what started this whole journey for me was trying to find that out. Once I found that out, there ain't no such place unless I believe it to be so. everything else, I was like, okay, well, I'm cool. I'm here for an experience. I'll be here till I'm not here, and then we out. But now it's I want to know more information, and so um, I like where you're headed. Like it feels like me and you hit on similar paths. Like we take our time out to just be in this reality and just let it be what it
Yeah.
is. But then we have our moments where we really super excited about trying to get to the other side, have more experiences, whatnot. Um, yeah, man, those are amazing experiences because it's stuff you never gonna forget. You never,
Yeah.
and this is how nobody can tell you that it's not real because you remember all the details of the experience. And so it's
Yeah.
like this. I remember more stuff about my OBEs than I remember about stuff that's happened in this
Yeah,
experience
it's
here.
true. It's true.
I have more memories and more detailed memories of things that have happened. Um, I think I'm gonna do a video on like all the small experiences I've had, just like a collage of all the very small. Because I've had stuff that happened. I had this one lucid dream that turned into an OBE. So I was dreaming, and then all of a sudden, I was focused on something. I pulled myself through into that experience. Like I was
Yeah.
fully aware. And in this experience, I never told nobody about this. I don't think I have, but in this experience, I was floating in the ocean. And when I say floating, I was like in the water, like
In the
wading in the
water.
water, and I could feel the water on me. I looked at my hands,
Wow.
I was wet. I, I wasn't black. I wasn't a black person. So I was like a much lighter shade than I am, but not white. Probably if you would imagine a Polynesian kid, or I don't know,
Yeah.
but it was a lighter color than my skin is right now. And I remember being in this water and I'm looking at a city, the shoreline and a city in the distance. And I'm just wading in the water. And I'm looking at the city and I said, what's under the water? And immediately I went underwater and I saw the head of a dragon as big as the city come up, open its mouth, and swallow the city and go back down.
Wow.
And I remember, and this is how I know it was real, because I remember in that specific moment saying, well, where the hell am I going to go? Because I'm out here in the water. If that was my home, I'm literally rationalizing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, if I lived it, and I started looking around and there's no other land around me, and I got scared and I woke up. That happened to me a few years ago. This is before I even met Darius. And I didn't know how to
What
explain it. I didn't know what it was, but now that
do
I do.
you do you think that was an alternate version of yourself?
Oh, yeah,
What do
for
you make?
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably me in another kingdom, in another realm, a
Yeah.
previous life where I watched a monster come up and destroy my whole city. I don't. Again, I just remember the feeling of hopelessness. Like, what the fuck am I going to do now? I'm in the middle of the ocean, and I'm not like close. I'm in the middle of the ocean. The It's like you seeing this city miles from you. So I'm like 3, 4 miles out in the ocean.
Wow.
And I'm just looking at the city and I'm looking at myself. It's wet. I'm wet. I'm in the water. I'm like in the ocean. I'm like, dude. And the water was kind of green, like a faint green color. And I just remember saying, what's under this water? And immediately after I said that, I went down under the water and I seen this dragon. I mean, its head was as big as the city. And it just came up, opened his mouth, and it took the whole city and just went underwater. And that, like I said, in that moment, the first thing I thought, it wasn't the fear of that. It was, well, where the fuck am I going to go? Because I'm out here in the middle of the water. where am I supposed to be? And
Yeah.
I literally started panicking, and then I woke myself up. I woke up. So I'll never forget that experience. But like I mentioned that to say this, these experiences have to be other experiences that are in the multiverse, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They have to be because
They
there's
have to
no
be.
way I should be able to remember that with such detail,
And
like
feel the water.
and
And
feel the water. Again, it
yeah.
was I wasn't an observer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm standing on high and I'm just watching all this shit happen. I'm in this situation. I'm in this water,
Yeah.
and so that just brings me back to what you had said earlier. Like, and now it's like it's a full circle moment for me from that experience. Like all of this shit is just dreams.
It is.
All of
No, it
it's just
is.
different dreams.
But what I've trying to been, I've I've been trying to kind of spread as much as I can a message,
Hmm.
and they are dreams, they are realities, they are creations of the soul.
Hmm.
But there's also a reason why we're experiencing them. And I've come to this conclusion that just as when you're in an OBE or a lucid dream, you need to, I don't know if this is your experience, but it's mine. You need to bring as much awareness in and consciousness into it for it to be, for you to be there more and for it to be more real.
Hmm.
So then that says to me that that's what we need to do here. So I've been trying to spread this message that you need to be as human as possible. Don't don't kind of try and chase being source and leave humanity, because source or your don't try and chase being your soul. You
Yeah.
already are your soul in
Yep.
form. So
Yep.
you need to bring your soul through. Your soul is here for a reason to experience this. So you need to bring more of your soul in so it can fully experience it. And when I've had experiences where I've walked down the road and I've seen the glimmer of that kind of ultra HD on a tree or a curb or a wall, and I've just seen it. I feel like that's me being more present, and that is my soul kind of peering in. Um, I had this, I had this. It's so hard to call it flashback or download after my mushroom experience, where
Mhm.
I was walking and all of a sudden my vision changed, and it wasn't that anything changed in regards to colors or shapes. Gosh, this is so hard to explain. It was like I was seeing reality through my soul's eyes rather than my eyes.
Yes.
It was
Been there.
like the
Been there.
observer was going, like,
Been
looking,
there.
and I was freaking out. So I was like, this isn't me, this isn't my eyes. Obviously I know now that was the true me.
Yeah.
That was my true soul coming through
Yeah.
and looking and watching and
Yeah.
observing. But I kind of was fighting it and I kind of lost it. And then now I'm like, oh, I wish I had that perspective.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think your soul is trying to come through. And I think we're raised in, I really wanted to talk to you about this. We're raised in fear. The realm is built on fear from stopping us from remembering who we are,
Hmm.
which makes me even more know that the the truth is for us to be full souls here, to remember who we are so we can experience this as our soul, not as 10% of ourselves,
Hmm.
or because we're stopping ourselves coming through from the fear, from the clogging, from the identity labels, and we're not fully experiencing it. We're kind of in a dream state all the time. That's why it's called awakening. But really, it's a remembering. That's what it is. It's not becoming awake to something that's outside of yourself. It's remembering who you are. And then
Yep.
once you remember fully who you are, and you are that in every 100% fully, like, full way, that's when you can be the observer, your true self in this reality. And I
Right.
think that's our goal. I think that's what we need to do. So I keep telling people, love your life, love your flaws, love who you are, but find truth, have OBEs, find out who you are, because every OBE that you have, you bring back more of yourself.
Hmm. Yep.
I've heard you say about a soul merge, and I wanted to ask you, what I've just said, is that the same?
What you mean, like soul merging with your body?
Yeah, you
So
said, I'm sure you said that there's going to be, when the construct ends, a merging
no,
of
no,
the
no.
soul.
Okay, let me. I'm gonna stop you because I'm gonna say it so that way it don't get confused.
Okay, yeah,
So first of all, let me say that was something that was told to me. I have not
okay,
seen that at all. I was told
okay,
by a person in me and in our group that Darius had when I asked them, excuse me, about the end of the construct. Now, what
okay,
Darius seen as the end of the construct is different from what this person shared with me. But what this person shared with me may not necessarily be the end of the construct. It may be something that happened to us before the end of the construct. And
okay,
so, what this person spoke of was a merging of a upgrade of our physical body so that it can perform the same abilities that our soul can. So, in essence, we become Superman. We can fly, we can teleport, we can do whatever. And um, I think we are here, you and I, people like you and I, are here to prepare for that event, if that is the event to come, because it won't be a surprise to us when we feel the merge of the soul because of what you just said. Like I said, I walk around my house and I know I'm a soul in my body. I know this. When
yeah,
I'm looking around, like right now, I'm looking around my place and I know this isn't my place. This is just a projection of a place that I am currently in. I know that I exist in all places all the time without limitation. Um, there will come a time where that reality will merge with this reality and it becomes one reality, according to what this person told me. So again, I want to preface this by saying I did not see this. This is something I'm still hoping to get to experience and see for myself and confirm. But yes, and so I want to go back to something you said, and you're very much correct. What I've learned in my OB traveling is my job is to bring what the other side is like to this experience.
yeah,
The other side, I am unconditional love. I want to bring unconditional love to this experience. On the other side, I can't judge any souls because only a soul can judge themselves. So I want to bring non-judgment to this experience.
yeah,
Um, I don't experience hate and evil and all those things. So I don't allow those things to be part of my experience through watching a bunch of shit talking about. I don't care about what's going on Epstein Island. That's not. I don't care. I don't care, and
yeah,
I'm not out of non-compassion, but it's not part of my experience. So I don't want to invite that into my experience.
yeah,
Right. I want to control this experience. I'm no longer trying to escape it. And that's what happens when you first start having these OBs. You see how dope it is on the other side. And it's like, get me the fuck out of here. Like, I'm ready to go. Um, but what I've learned with the help of Darius is that I'm here to help other souls understand that we need to bring more of who we are on that side into this experience so it changes this experience. If we don't like the way this experience is being held, nobody else has the controls to it other than us.
yeah,
We've given those controls to outer sources, the day, which Darius is going to talk about in his next workshop. Shameless plug for Darius. If you don't have the ADA method, you should get it just so simply you can go to these workshops because he explains all this shit in a way that once you hear him say it and then you have experienced it, it will literally all make sense. So bringing back the things that we are on that side into this experience is what I understand. That's my purpose now. Like, that's what I'm here to do. That's why I talk so much about the fear part. And I agree that fear is part of who you are. You shouldn't live in fear. You're going to have
yeah,
fear because fear is a natural frequency that's going to be in this experience. But you
yeah,
shouldn't abide in fear,
yeah,
meaning that you're fearful of outward things that can't do anything to you. Again, the worst thing can happen to you in this experience is that you die, and that's not even the worst thing that can happen to you because that's literally low key the best thing that can happen to you because then you get to go back home. Like, you know what I mean? So when you put it in that perspective, Once you lose the fear of death, which isn't even a real thing, by the way, because you never die,
Yeah.
you, the true you, Sasha, lives eternally. The me,
Yeah.
true me, lives eternally. So that death is an illusion itself. Once you lose the fear of that illusion, then you lose the fear of everything else because now you can be bold. You ain't worried about something happening to you because that ain't nothing happening to you. It's happening to your flesh suit. And then the real you continues on, however it goes. So you saying what you said, that resonated with me because where I'm at now in my experience is I'm not chasing OBEs. If I have one, great. I'm
Yeah.
open to having them. I
Yeah.
love my lucid dreams even more because I'm in control of this experience, the same as an OBE, and I'm not having to stay up all night to get there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying those a lot, but I'm not chasing any of it. I understand my purpose now is to bring just what you said, bring that soul, Corey, the soul
Yeah.
version, the
Into
eternal
human form.
version into this human experience and
Yeah.
let that spread to the people around me so that they can do the same, so they'll learn to do the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
thing. And once
Yeah.
you get 1 million people, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, 1 billion people doing this, the whole experience changes because now we're manifesting a different experience.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy, but we have way more control over this experience than we think we do. And the they have led us to believe we don't, so that they can keep us under a certain level of control with the
Yeah.
distortion, religion, politics, money, all that stuff. So I'm glad you mentioned that. But yeah, man, listen, hey, this was perfect, bro. You said some things today that literally I've been needing confirmation on for me. And so you saying them, I'm blessed that I was able to have you on today because there were certain things that I was feeling and thinking and receiving that I just wanted to make sure that wasn't just me thinking up some shit. No, this was stuff that you receiving the same downloads I'm receiving because you're seeing this experience the same way I'm now seeing this experience. Like
Yeah.
I look at my daughter and I don't see my daughter. If that makes sense. Like I see a soul.
You see so. Yeah.
I see a
Yeah.
soul. Like that's a soul
Yeah.
having a
Yeah.
child's experience. I see my son, and I'm able to be a better father to my son because I don't look at
Yeah.
him as a crazy 14-year-old. I look at him
Yeah.
as a soul having a 14-year-old's experience. So
Experience.
going through all the ups and downs and frequency
Yeah.
changes within that experience. So now I'm more
Yeah.
patient. My wife, I don't see her as my wife. I see her as a soul who's agreed to be with me in this experience. And so there's a certain level of patience I need to have when she feels her way and I feel my way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
No, I agree with all of that. Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't mean, just to like clarify, it doesn't mean you love your children any less because you don't see them as your children. In fact,
right.
I don't know, maybe like even more or just the same or even more. It's your responsibility to nurture a soul to allow them to be who their true selves are.
Yeah,
Your job is to like allow that soul to come through.
yeah. I'll say this: they're not property. They're
Yeah, they're
not
not yours. You
property.
don't own
They're
them.
not ours. They're not property
Yeah,
that belongs to us.
yeah,
They are simply. They're not even children. They're grown adult souls that
yeah.
agree to have a child's experience. So when
Experience.
you
Yeah,
go back to the other side and you see your 6 month old and they are fully grown, whatever, and they like, oh yeah, the last time we was here, I was your dad.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like, oh shit, okay, that's right. We did agree to do this, right?
yeah.
And this is what you find out when you start coming into remembrance. So, man, listen. So I'm not gonna take no more of your time, man. This has been so special. People are gonna get a different understanding of what we currently are experiencing. And I've been trying to explain it, but I feel like I might be saying the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
glad you're saying exactly what I've been saying. And so
Actually, and
it's connection. We're all
yeah,
source.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The illusion is that we're all different.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
illusion is that we are different when it comes to ego because the ego is who you individually are within source. So
Yeah.
ego isn't a bad thing. Ego is who you are, like the personality traits, the things that you are within source. But I look at it like a big ass pyramid. You got source
Yeah.
sprinkling itself down into all these individual souls that get to be source. But
Yeah.
ultimately, we're all source because we're all made. Every soul is made from the same, comes from the same source.
Yeah.
So it's here, and then we all connect here, and in different ways. It's almost like a 4D pyramid chessboard or something crazy. But we're
Yeah.
all connected with each other because we've all known each other. Like
Yeah.
when we leave here, you and I may see each other and we've known each other, we've been in each other's lives multiple times.
Yeah.
And this time we agreed for you to come in at this particular time and have that convergence point.
Yeah.
So
It's why
I'm
truth
thankful.
resonates
Yeah,
because we're
exactly.
all source. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that's why I'm thankful to have all of you guys, like you,
Yeah.
everybody else in our groups and chats. I'm thankful to have you because we're all on the same, we all are on the same frequency.